always do that. So, what's up, you guys? We're back for another review of 20s Season 2, Episode 4, okay? And we're going to try something a little different this time. I'm not going to go in the order of the episode. I'm just going to talk person by person, like each main character, okay? And first, I want to start with Nia. I want to start with Nia because my last review, I didn't really touch on her too much. So I wanted to speak on the situation with her and Ben. That's the white guy's girlfriend or whatever that's expressing interest in her. First of all, I wanted to say, like, and I was discussing this earlier with a friend of mine, and I'm like, I can't tell whether or not Ben is genuinely into her or is he just flat out an opportunist. Like, because it's just so ironic to me that it just seems like he kind of social climbs a bit. Because even going back to season 1 when Ben and Marie were after the same position at their job, he just seems a bit of a like kiss ass and like the type that's willing to like do anything to be the what the fuck? I don't know what that was. Yeah, but Ben just seems like a social climber. I can't tell whether he genuinely likes Nia or is he just being an opportunist right now because she has a buzz right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, her brand is expanding. She's becoming more known. She was excited on this episode to finally become verified after her gift went viral from last episode. And it was just ironic to me, like, now he's so into her. Because as I recall, like, season 1, like, he wasn't really, like, checking for her at all. You know what I mean? When it was Nia's birthday party and he was there with his girlfriend, the white girl. I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, he was there with her and, like, he didn't seem like he was all that interested then. So I'm like, it's just kind of, you know, just kind of the timing of everything between him and his interest in Nia all of a sudden. You know what I mean? He just comes off as a bit of a kiss ass, a brown noser, and just a flat out opportunist. You know, like, so yeah, let's pay attention to that situation. But I don't know. You know, my friend was like, he thinks that Ben is genuinely interested in Nia, and I'm just like, I don't know, because the timing of it just seems fishy. He ain't ever expressed interest before. You know what I mean? And Nia, I like the fact that Nia gets straight to the point herself when he rolls up on her and they go walking and he asks her out for drinks. And I like when she arrives, you know, to the bar, like, she gets straight to it, like, what's up with you and oh girl? I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, what's up with you and oh girl? Like, what's up with you and your girlfriend or whatever? I like that she gets straight to the point at the bar. Like, ain't no half stepping, like, what's up? And he even says this line, how I just feel like her and I have we've gone as far as we can go. But he almost said it with a sense of like, in other words, I've gotten all I can get from her. You know what I mean? Whatever benefit he was looking to get with her. And it would be no surprise that if, like, it comes out that he only dated her for some type of social status, to get into some type of circle or whatever. Like, because he just gives me that type. He just gives me that type. Like, he's just only after whatever he's after. You know, he don't really, you know, could care less about whoever else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard for me to figure whether or not he's genuine. You know what I mean? Because, yeah. So let's watch that. Anyway, a funny moment in the show. A funny moment when Nia finally gets verified and she's all excited, so she screams or whatever, and her clients are like, I hope you don't go up on your yoga prices like other people tend to do once they get verified. And she's like, people do that? And so she was like, well, I want to stay grounded. I'm not going to go up on my prices. And she doubled back and thought about it like, but at the same time, I am a black woman, I need to know my worth. So if my prices change, don't talk shit in my comments. Yo, that was so fucking hilarious, but shit, I felt that shit. I mean, hey, treat yourself like you're worth it, okay? Treat yourself like you're worth it. So I thought that was a great and funny moment in the show. So moving on from that, who are we gonna talk? We're gonna save the deeper conversation for last, and that is Marie and Chuck's situation, okay? So moving on from Nia, we're gonna get into Hattie, right? So should I start the job thing? I mean, Hattie gets a call from her trainer at the job, the fake UPS that she was training for. And he calls her and lets her know, like, hey, I have good news and I have bad news. And she's like, okay, well, let me get the good news first. And I just found it so funny how he was like, the good news is you're now able to get paid through the company. And he says this like as if like, okay, like, you know, she's now an official co-worker or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, what's the bad news? And he said, the bad news is I'm not gonna hire you. So I was like, well, damn, you know what I mean? Like, shit. But at the same time, Hattie didn't deserve to get hired. She wouldn't listen to a damn thing that man was telling her. So, like, you can obviously see that, like, she clearly could care less. And I feel like a lot of us, like, for the most part, when we just doing a job just strictly for bills, we do care less. But the thing is, girl, you can't show that in training. Like, don't show that in training. Wait till at least, like, after everything's good, you know what I'm saying, you do what you gotta do, and then you can express all that. But while you're getting trained, you can't act like that. You gotta act like, you know, hey, you're for the company, one band, one sound, until next week or whatever. But yeah, okay. So moving on from that, Hattie finally decides to take the coffee chick up on her offer with joining her writers club, her writers group or whatever. And this is a step in the right direction. Like, it's just a complete step in the right direction. She's starting to get her head out her ass and get her head in the game a little bit more, okay? Even though she showed up to the meeting unprepared, they asked her to give her opinion and critiques on this guy's story, or his writing or whatever. And she had not read the work, and she was even like, you know what, I want to see how y'all do it. Y'all can go first. Don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go first. I thought that was funny. But all in all, I'm glad that her character is finally taking a step in the right direction with holding herself accountable. And you know, so that was great to see. And even the I can't remember her name either, but the coffee chick, she even said herself, like, you know, the whole purpose of the group is to have someone or people to hold you accountable for, you know what I'm saying, for your work and your goals and things like that. So they decided to give Hattie a second chance with that, since she showed up to the first meeting unprepared. Again, I'm glad to see her character finally finally, you know what I'm saying, like, doing something that is actually productive and will move her forward with her writing. Because it's like, throughout the episode so far, we've barely even seen her even work on a script, you know what I'm saying, except for that one time she threw that temper tantrum and went to the coffee shop to work on it. But it didn't seem like she was taking it serious then. She was just, you know, just lollygagging just up there, you know. But I'm happy to see that she finally did join the writers group and everything. And she helps the girl clean, you know what I'm saying, straightens up or whatever as she gets ready to leave, and they start to part ways or whatever. And the girl from the coffee shop, like, just kind of stares at Hattie, because y'all know, like, you know, she likes Hattie, you know, in a romantic way. Like, she has interest in her, and I can just tell by the way, like, she was looking at her, like, you know, she still longs to explore or see, you know, the possibilities of them two, you know, sometime or whatever. But, you know, for now, Hattie's, you know, not showing any interest for now. moving on from that, but still keeping it on Hattie. Ida texts her and asks her out to dinner for the evening or whatever, and she said sure or whatever, and she was like, you don't have to sound so excited or whatever. She tells like, I've been having a bad day, blah blah, and Ida's like, well, I can make you feel better. So Ida rents out this fancy ass restaurant that her friend owned, and they're the only two there. And at first, like, Hattie's like looking around, you know what I'm saying, like she's impressed a bit, but then it dawns on her as they sit down, like, did you rent this place out to be romantic, or did you rent it out because you didn't want to be seen with me, you know? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the episode like 3 times, but the first time I watched it, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, Hattie, like, because it just seemed like as soon as they sat down, like, she just went in on Ida, like, and at first, like, my first time watching it, I was kind of taken aback, like, damn, where's all this coming from, you know? But then as she talked further to grasp her point of where she was going with it, then it made sense, like, okay, that's a valid question. Because at first I thought she was may have been just taking out her frustration that she had, you know, for the day, because she didn't have a real good day or nothing. Like, she got fired and she wasn't prepared for a writers group, and she's ripping and running and, you know, things like that. So at first I was just like, well, damn, is she taking out like her bad day on Ida or what? Like, you know, at first I thought that was a bit unfair, but then as she went on further to explain, like, you know, she just feels like, you know, asking Ida, like, are you trying to be in denial with who you are, or are you embarrassed by me? Like, what is it, you know? So after, you know what I'm saying, she expressed her points more, then I felt like, oh, okay, that is a valid question, you know. Because at first I was like, well, goddamn, they just sat down, hadn't even been served food yet, and you already like attacking her about some, you know. But anywho, Ida, she has her points as well. Like, you know, she asked her, like, you know, Hattie, have you ever broken through a glass ceiling, you know, where it isn't so pleasant, you know what I'm saying? You get scars, and those scars stay with you. In short, basically letting Hattie know, like, yo, I've had my battles as well, you know, like, I'm not sitting up here Miss Perfect, like, just because I don't show my scars, or I don't act a certain way or look a certain way, doesn't mean that I myself haven't had my trials and error, you know. And Hattie was getting more so at the point, like, yeah, but you have your privilege, you know what I'm saying, like, this is just another way for you to protect your privilege. And I thought that was a great point, because honestly, I hadn't even thought about that aspect. So around the second and third time I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, I get what she's saying now. Because, like, when she was like, you have the privilege of walking around as a straight presenting, light-skinned, curly-haired woman, and when people see me, they automatically know that I'm black, and they know that I'm gay as hell, and we're not fighting the same fight. So with that being said, I was like, well, yeah, that conversation does need to be had, because I can see how Hattie would feel that way. Though at the same time, though, I didn't really get that vibe from Ida, though. Like, I didn't really get that vibe of her being, you know, ashamed, or trying to, like, not have her brand, or, you know, anything that she represents connected to her sexuality. I didn't really I honestly didn't get that vibe from her, but when Hattie brought it up, it started to, I saw it, you know what I mean, like oh shit, like, she might have been getting off, you know what I mean, like, you got a couple of passes, you know what I'm saying, with your privilege that you can get away with. So looking at it from Hattie's perspective, I definitely could see and feel where she's coming from, because honestly, that wasn't even a thought to me as a viewer. But to see her put a spotlight on that, it allowed me to see, you know, Ida from a different perspective. Like, wait a minute, like, that shoe just might fit her. You know what I mean? Like, that just might fit her. has she been doing that? You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't really noticed it until Hattie's character, you know, to Hattie pointed it out. And then I was like, oh shit, she might be on to something. So, but at the same time, with Ida, like, you know, acknowledging, like, I know that we don't have the same fight, but at the same time, that doesn't mean for you to go and diminish the fight that I have had, you know. So I get both sides. I get both sides. I just like the fact that it was addressed between the two of them, and it was addressed immediately. You know what I mean? They didn't allow the issue to fester within their relationship. You know what I mean? So they compromised and saw each other's point and decided to just work on it. Hattie had asked her to, like, you know, kind of back off a little bit, because the Hollywood that you entered is not the same Hollywood that I'm living now, you know. And Ida just had to let her know, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I just want to protect you from certain things. And Hattie had to speak up for herself, like, you know, I understand that, and I appreciate all that you provide for me, but at the same time, some things I just simply have to go through and learn on my own. You know what I mean? You can't take the test for me. So I like that they, you know, had a conversation about that and put everything on the floor level, right? Unlike Hattie's friend Marie and her soon-to-be husband Chuck, okay? Now let's really get into it. So Marie is, of course, she's making the smoothie in the morning. She asks Chuck, like, where were you last night? Why'd you come in so late? Now she's asking him this, but I feel, you know, but she had the look on her face like she already know who and where you was at last night. I just want to know, are you going to be honest about it? Because she had this, like, accusatory, like, look on her face, like, where were you? You know what I mean? And he told her, you know what I mean? Like, he told her, like, I was with Chance and we was just doing some catching up. But he kept it real cute and simple. Like, we were just doing some catching up, you know, nothing too deep. Don't trip, you know. And, but she, you know, she knows. Like I said in my last review, I feel like Marie knew this whole time, because if you've known him for this long, how could you not? You know, like, how could you not? And like I said in the last review, like, the silence was getting loud. Like, it's only so much the pipes can take before the pressure bursts them, right? So, anywho, he tells her that, you know, they need to hurry up and pick a date for the wedding so they can start the 6 months counseling prior to getting married. And she's taken aback by that, like, 6 months, you know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, you know, people say, you know, marriage is not for the weak, it takes work or whatever. And boy, do they have their work cut out for them ahead, right? Because they go and see the marriage counselor and they take this questionnaire test, and they're told to take the test separately and to not share answers between each other. So the counselor lets them know, like, you know, you guys are the first couple that seems to communicate so well when it comes to finances and family. And basically they score high in every category except for sexual chemistry. And Marie, I don't think she even answered her part of the test with that. And Chuck, he made one selection that he was very satisfied with talking, and he felt very comfortable talking to Marie about his sexual desires, but then he erased it and was like, you know what, like, it's fair, you know. So that, of course, was alarming between the two of them. So the counselor addressed it, and they were acting really, like, weird and off-putting with each other, like, almost as if, like, they just didn't want to talk about it at all with each other. Like, they couldn't even look at each other. Like, they like staring at the counselor. And so the counselor have to ask them directly, like, Marie, like, you skip yours altogether. Like, do you feel comfortable talking to him about sex or your sexual desires? And she basically was, like, just staring at the wall for a second, like. And I'm thinking to myself, well, girl, no answer is an answer. I mean, it's a yes or no damn question. So with you not saying anything, that lets me know everything. No, you're not comfortable. Like, no, you're not comfortable. y'all are not sexually competitive because y'all do not fulfill each other's desire, like, at the end of the day. And so that's when Chuck begins to have a moment of honesty, and he's like, maybe, you know, Marie, maybe we shouldn't get married. And she's like, why? And he's like, because, you know, I'm bisexual. And I feel like he was expecting a certain reaction from Marie. And when Marie actually, like, kind of made this, like, sigh of relief, like, you know, he finally said it, you know. And so she lets him know, like, it's okay, like, I know. And so when she acknowledges, like, that she knew, that's when he takes his sigh of relief, you know, like a weight has been lifted off him, like, you know, you knew or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I've always kind of known, you know. Basically the same thing of what I was saying in the last review, like, it's basically a thing of, I'm just waiting on you to say it. But, like, I've known, I already know, you know. So that was the beginning of the two of them finally being open and honest with each other. And I feel like once that was addressed, it was so much pressure taken off the both of them. And that was the first time after they both said their truths, like, that was the first time in the counseling room that they even looked at each other. I noticed during that whole scene prior to admitting the truth between the two of them, they didn't even look at each other. Like, they were just looking straight ahead, like talking to the counselor, even when answering questions that involved the both of them. And until they said, like, acknowledged the elephant in the room in their relationship, that's when they were able to, like, turn and, like, look at each other and communicate, actually, and not just talk out loud. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. So I was glad to see that finally. So that ultimately led to the two of them also acknowledging, like, they, at some point, they began to treat their marriage like their careers, and just checking off check boxes. Like I said in my very first review on this season, like, that's what the both of them gave me. Like, you know, those perfectionist students or people, and it's like they just go through life with this imaginary checklist that society says that you have to have by a certain age or a certain, you know. And it's like that shit, and I always call it imaginary because it is, like, that shit is so fucking stressful to fulfill or try to keep up with. I just feel like that's just not real. Like, you gotta feel what you feel, and you gotta express what's naturally within you. Other than that, like, that's not living, you know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to appear to perfectly exist, kind of, like. And that's, like, I don't know, like, that's just it's just not non-fulfilling to me. And I know that, you know, many of us know people like that. Like, even when I was in college, and, like, after graduating college, and you see people on your timeline on Facebook and Instagram, you see these former colleagues and everything, and it's like, you just know, like, are y'all really happy, or y'all just love doing things for the gram and Facebook? Cause, like, really, in real life, y'all didn't even seem all that compatible. But y'all take cute pictures, though, and go on cute vacations, though, and got, you know what I'm saying, you know, careers, you know, that I feel like a lot of them, their careers aren't even that fulfilling. They just, you know, you needed a title, you wanted your name by a title, and you wanted your name checked by a box. You know what I mean? But I don't know. To each his own. You know what I mean? I just, yeah, I couldn't be that boxed in with my personality. So yeah, to each his own. That's all I say to that. But all in all, this episode was another good episode. You know, everything was kind of got wrapped up really quickly. You know, nothing prolonged for too long. I feel like it gave us just enough. You know what I mean? Just enough so we could chill to the next episode. But I enjoyed this episode. Definitely looking forward to the rest of the season as always. And honestly, this is the 4th episode, and it's like it hasn't given me a dull feeling yet. You know how certain shows and certain seasons by certain points in the show you get like a filler episode or two, like nothing really happened or nothing. But I can honestly say season two of 20s have definitely been delivering quality episodes. You know, no fillers. Every episode is like getting you there with a point. Getting you there with a point. And also, like I said on my last review, I was glad that Chuck and Marie were able to address their truths before the wedding. Because in the last review I did, I was like, I hope that the writers do not wait until the very last episode to get us on that cliffhanger. Because I hate when shows go like that. Like, you've been having us to build and build up, and like we gotta wait till the next season to see how things unfold. And my last review, I was like, I hope we see what is gonna be the outing or something by episode 5, and they did it in episode 4. So kudos to the writers for that. Like, I really like that. I like that we don't have to wait all the way to the last fucking episode for either him to come out or for her to cheat. And also, they both decided to basically give each other space to explore before they get married, to go out and fulfill their sexual desires before they get married. Honestly, it sounds like, I'm glad that they're honest and open with each other like this. But honestly, I feel like they might not get down that altar. They may not. And if they do get down the altar, it's gonna be it's like, I feel like they're gonna either have an open marriage or they're never gonna go down the altar, because I feel like this is gonna open Pandora's box at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna open up Pandora's box, and they just may not make it to the altar. And if they do make it to the altar, Pandora's box is still gonna be open, so they just might end up having an open marriage or something like that. Because I really feel like it's also gonna open up space for things to go haywire, you know what I mean? But all in all, I'm glad that we get to see this new chapter in their relationship, because I feel like they've been so plastic for so long. It's like from season 1 they weren't really real or showing any chemistry, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that we finally get to see, okay, them have real conversations and show real chemistry and real communication between each other. But like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. Can't wait for the next. And thank you guys for watching this review / commentary. And yeah, I see you next episode, and we can discuss and talk or whatever. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that. Once again, like, I'm T. I'm new to YouTube, and thank you guys for watching.